what gives the developer bodies the confidence to say that with our members, we would try and complete that project?
So today we believe that our members are committed to complete their projects and to fulfill their obligation towards all stakeholders, primarily being the home buyers, followed by the banks and other financial institutions. Idea is to get it solved, to complete the homes and hand it over to the home buyers. No new developer wants to be saddled with the third-party liability of an existing developer.
Hi, welcome to the Property Show. I'm Jayashree Kurup. I'm Editor-in-Chief, MBTV. And today we're talking about builder bodies have started volunteering to complete stuck projects. Today we have Rohit Raj Modi, Honorary Secretary, CREDAI National, Kumar, Mihir, Advocate in the Supreme Court. And Rohit, let's start with what gives the developer bodies the confidence to say that with our members, we would try and complete stuck projects?
See, first and foremost, the developer body like CREDAI tries to keep a healthy profile of its members. There have been times when we have expelled members who have been caught not adhering to the CREDAI's code of conduct. And CREDAI's code of conduct was in place much before RERA came in place. So today we believe that our members are committed to complete their projects and to fulfill their obligation towards all stakeholders, primarily being the home buyers, followed by the banks and other financial institutions. And there are challenges, needless to say that challenges are humongous right now and having been compounded by the liquidity crisis with NBFCs. But the developers are committed and CREDAI works with them to resolve their issues, whether the issues are with the bank financing community or the issues are with the development authorities. We try to find a solution. So that's what gives us confidence that our member developers are going to commit to complete their projects and hand over those homes to the home buyers.
So what kind of projects do you pick up?
CREDAI as a body doesn't pick up any particular project because it's not a for-profit organization. It's a non-profit organization. We encourage our developer members to complete their project. We understand what challenges do they have. If let's say somebody has a positive cash flow in the project, but is not able to sell anymore because of branding issues, because of the developer has run into financial trouble. So we try and put a co-developer along with him so that together they can complete the project. We work a lot with the development authorities to rework the policies which will provide a favorable ground for a co-developer or an institution to step in and resolve the situation. Idea is to get it solved, to complete the homes and hand it over to the home buyers.
So largely these problems are in the Delhi NCR, right? This is the place where maximum number of problems are. What policies have you asked for and have the authorities been receptive?
Yes, Delhi NCR does have large challenges, but also it is India's largest residential market. So where the market is large, problem is equally large. We do see a lot of issue coming from stuck-up projects from Noida Extension, or some from Gurgaon as well. We have been deliberating stuff like a proper provision for bringing in a co-developer in situation of Noida Extension. There was a policy which had come out in December 16 to this effect. No new developer wants to be saddled with the third-party liability of an existing developer. So what we have currently asked for Noida Extension, for example, where most of the land parcels are large, 5, 10, 15 acres, we've asked the authority that there are portions of green field in these projects, phases which were never started, which have not really been taken up. So ring fence that and allow a developer to step in, provide a separate sort of a legal arrangement so that cash flow is not impaired by the liability of the previous cash flow. And with that cash flow, authority can take control of its own dues and the developer is able to fulfill the unsold part as well as the unbuilt part, both of these things.
So Mihir, what kind of liabilities does the new entity have, and what about the old entity, the one who did not complete the project?
Under the policy which previously existed, old entity was not being allowed to get out of the project completely. He was the person who was to be mainly liable towards the dues of the buyers. The new entity was only stepping in to help the old entity to complete the project. ultimate liability still lies with the old entity, right? However, that policy, as Rohit said, was allowed to lapse. Now the high-powered committee has recommended that that policy should be brought back to help all these projects to get completed. Remember, there are talks of NBCC stepping in Amrapali. JP NBCC is again one of the resolution applicants. But NBCC can't be the be-all and end-all for all these projects. Buyers have trust on builders. That's why they go and invest in yet-to-be-completed projects. And because of some people, this trust has broken, and unless the builder bodies themselves step in and remove that trust deficit, this sector is not going to pick up. It is for that also it is required that these kind of policies should be brought in, where co-developers are brought in to complete all these stranded projects, because otherwise buyers will continue fighting this this big fight without any solution at the end. So
today buyers are structuring themselves into groups, which is not a bad deal, because individually it was not working. They've got into groups. We ran a survey, and about 57% of consumers said that RERA is their first port of call. 22% interestingly said, I'll go back to the developer. I'll talk to my developer. Everyone today wants those projects to be complete. Other big question is, where will the money come from?
So Jayashree, I would classify all projects today which are under construction, whether they are stuck or they are under construction, into three buckets. Bucket one, and which is our most problematic bucket, is that bucket where there is a negative cash flow, which means that the inventory has already been sold, a lot of money has been received and taken out of the company. In this case, the receivable, the balance receivable in the project is not good enough to cover the balance cost of completion. In such situations, it's either the developer has to bring back equity in the project, number one. If the developer is not able to bring back equity in the project, these projects can actually get sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Fortunately, the number of such projects is less than 20%. But because they do catch the highest eyeballs, so we think that the problem is all pervasive. But when you take that as a percentage of the market, it is not really more than 20%. And this was a survey carried out by UP RERA recently, and was spoken about by UP RERA chairman as well recently. But in such cases, there could be a solution. The solution is how to create equity when there's no equity left in the project. One way is that the development authority may say, all right, we had given you 2.5 FAR, okay, we will give you another 1 FAR. Okay, for this another 1 FAR, we'll give you at a very discounted rate, so that only good enough to probably invest in infrastructure for augmentation. But now you take this 1 extra FAR, which gives you extra selling space, and deploy this for completing this particular project. That is a mechanism which can be done. Okay. Second, the development authority may say that, okay, we will take haircut on our land cost and the land premium and the interest. Does that help? Okay. All of this requires promoter to bring in some equity from his own side, because he cannot be the one who's not punished for mishandling the situation. So that is one case. But these are the trickiest ones. Second one is where the promoter, there is a positive cash flow available. But because of the market trend in the last 3-4 years, the market has lost confidence on that particular promoter or that brand. And the promoter is not able to sell anymore, so thereby cannot generate any more cash flow. And hence cannot close the project's financial closure. Such projects are easier to solve where if we have a co-promoter stepping in, okay, with proper ring fencing. No co-promoter wants to be saddled with old liabilities without having protection around that.
Till you finish.
Till you finish.
And after you finish, the
new and the old both have to be finished. Yeah. The finishing old is an obligation. Yeah. So it is like I will do a costing that, okay, to finish old, I require X, okay. What is the receivable coming from X? Because there is a receivable, but people are not paying because they have lost confidence on the developer. So that's your second one. There's a third bucket as well, where there is neither any diversion of fund nor siphoning of fund. The entire sale itself has been abysmal, like 20%, 25% sale. Now those projects are not going to really meet their deadlines for delivery because market had turned very slow. Okay, and similarly the banks and NBFCs, they also delayed and they've slowed down their funding. So in paucity of funds, those projects will get delayed dramatically, maybe even getting into a sick situation.
The backing of a institution like CREDAI or NAREDCO, that helps?
CREDAI has recently submitted to PMO creation of a stressed asset fund, and I think it's also part of the high-powered
committee's recommendations.
UP.
In fact, UP RERA Chief Rajiv Kumar told us that the government is soon going to launch UP government is going to launch a stress fund for.
See, we've been recommending that if you create a stress fund, it's nothing going out of pocket actually, because the stress fund is created. That fund is given to a developer against purchase of inventory. And obviously all the due checks and balances have to be in place. Government picks up that inventory, let's say 100 apartments in a complex. Okay, they pay a deep discounted value through an escrow mechanism monitored so that it goes towards finishing of the project. Now those 100 apartments are sitting with the government's kitty. Government can always do its auctioning, with after 7th pay commission and after all the enhancement in the house building allowance, etc. For central government, it's a good avenue for them to monetize it.
Please subscribe to Magicbricks on YouTube and click the bell icon to get new videos.